This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, hello. Good morning, everyone. I hope I am audible to you guys and screen
Yes,
is
Uncle.
visible.
Good morning. We
Good
can hear
morning.
you.
Hi
Yeah,
Shankar, good morning.
yes, yeah. Thanks for the confirmation. So, right. So today we are going to yeah. So today, right, we are going to start our first class of the Devops. So before going to start, any questions, any clarifications, uh, let me know so that right we'll clarify and we'll start the class. Right. So we are going to see right different tools to set up our automations. Basically, right, as a DevOps engineer, what we need to do, whatever the area you are touching or you are working, you have to automate that process. That maybe the teams or the project, right, using different approach to set up or to complete the requirement. Now, as a DevOps engineer, right, we have to suggest or we have to utilize the latest tools available in the market and set up a new level of automation so that it will save the time and it will save the cost. These are the two important things as a DevOps engineer, right? Anyway, with the experience, you will get all these things. So now, right, as part of this automations, right, we need to work with different tools, right? So now to practice those tools, we required missions, not a single mission. We required number of missions because right we are going to create a flow. If you remember right in our demo right we have seen a flow, CI/CD flow, right? So now to create that flow we required number of servers, 3 to 5 servers, right? So now one thing what we can do it here, we can create virtual missions and those missions we can use to practice our DevOps. So means on your laptop or desktop, we have to install the hypervisor and with the hypervisor, right, we can create the missions. With that, right, your performance of the laptop will go down because, right, you are going to create number of missions. Obviously, the resources, the RAM, you are going to use for other missions. So then the second way is, right, what we can do instead of installing softwares on our machines, we can use the cloud accounts, right? We have different clouds are available in the market like AWS cloud, Azure cloud, Oracle cloud, Google cloud, like that. So now they are right. So now they are offering 1 year of free accounts for us. So we can take 1 year of free account from the cloud and we can check those services, whatever the services they are offering. Now what we can write, we can create a free account on the cloud and right. So then we can start utilizing the services for our DevOps tools practice. So that right. So one of the advantage, right, when you want to practice your DevOps, you don't need to carry your laptop always. If I'm going to create a virtual missions in my mission, right? So suppose I'm moving to some other place. So there I need to carry that mission also. So that right, I can practice it as an example. So if you have the account in the cloud, you don't need to carry your missions always with you. Just a mission is required. That can be any mission, right? So then internet is required. That's it. Your account will be there on the internet, like on the AWS. So you can connect from any mission. It's not like the same mission you have to use, right? Advantages. And also, right, you don't need to install any softwares or anything, right, on our missions. So no performance impact of our missions, right? So you can create a number of missions, like you can create 5 missions, 10 missions, whatever is the requirement. So then once you are done with the requirement, then you can terminate them, you can delete them with the right with this free account. So now the free account is more than enough for us, right, to practice our DevOps stuff. Even right after the free account, suppose you want to practice or you want to see the other things, still you can have that service also. One is these cloud folks, right? What they will do? So after your free account is completed, like they will offer for 365 days, or right some hours they are going to provide, like 750 hours. Either the 750 hours or the 1 year completes, they will start charging it for the utilization of the services. So right, so now what we can do, you can use the service and you can pay the rent, or else right, we can create a new account. So you don't need to pay anything there also. Anyway, I will show you uh, when time comes. Right. So now what we will do, right? So now to practice our DevOps tools, we required the mission. Now the missions, right, we are going to get it from the cloud. So that's what, right, we are going to see right now. So now to get the missions from the cloud, first what is required for us? We required an account, a cloud account, like our Gmail accounts, Facebook accounts, like that. Right. So now if you want to create an account on the cloud, like we are going to use our Amazon cloud, AWS cloud. So we need to log in to the cloud account. Right. So to log in the cloud account, we require an account. So first we'll go and create an account. So how we are going to create an account? The website name is aws.amazon.com. If you want to create an AWS account, right, we have to go to the website name called aws.amazon.com. Right. So then go for right, sign in to the console. Right. So click on the sign in. So there, right, we have an option like if you have the account, you can sign in, or you can go for creating a new account. Right. So I'm clicking on create a new account now. Right. So then, right, it will ask you the details. So like here, right, we have to provide your email address. Right. A valid email address. In the past, right, we can give any email account, they're accepting it even though that is valid or not. But right now, right, they have changed it. We require a valid email account. So once you provide the email account and the account name means that once you log into your account, so what is the name you want to have it, right, for your account? Up to you. Like suppose I'm going to give my account name as Shankar. Right. So like right, so now here, so Devops by Shankar. So then we need to go for right, verify the email address. Right. So now to your email address, you will receive a code. This is not the code. Already I have the accounts, right? So that's where I'm not getting it here. Devops by Shankar 23. Usually, right, you will receive a code here with the account code. So let me give some other email address. I think already I have the accounts with the email, these emails. Yeah, right. So here, see here, already exist. Right, we need to provide it. So since with these emails already I created a number of accounts, that's where So I'm getting this kind of message. So you will get a code there, a kind of random code. So that code you have to enter there. So then once we enter that code, right? So then it will go for the next step. So like enter the password. To connect your AWS account, right? We require the username and password. Username will be whatever the email, right, you provided, that will be the username. And right, so then in the next page, right, it will ask you the password. So once you provide the password, right, then the next section will be our details. We need to enter. I'm going to share this document to you guys so that right, you can follow this document and you can create an account. The contact information. So here, right, you can provide your contact information. That should not be accurate, like whatever, right, you are staying there. You don't require to enter the proper or correct information. You can give any info like Hyderabad, something like that. Right. So basically, right, they require full name, phone number, country, like that. You can give any details there. So once you provided your contact information, right, so then it will go for the payment section. Right. So now they are going to charge only 2 rupees for the free account. They are going to charge only 2 rupees. So you can provide your debit cards or credit cards. So my suggestion will be go with the debit cards than the credit card. Sometimes, right, so I heard that a few of my students, right, automatically the amount gets deducted after the free usage, right. So whatever the services we are using, so they are going to start charging it. So right, sometimes, right, what happened, they are deducted the amounts automatically. But even though, so we can raise a request, then the amount will be sent back. That is going to be happen. Not to worry. But if you have the debit cards, right, go with the debit cards. Automatic deduction is not going to be happened. Or else credit cards also fine. Sometimes it happens. Right. So now what they will do, so once you provided your debit cards or credit card, so they will charge 2 rupees. And the 2 rupees also will get it back within a week. This is a kind of right payment confirmation so that in future you want to utilize their services, means you want to continue the business. So then right, this payment they will use for your transactions, utilization and the pay things. Right. So once we are done with the payment, so then right, you will go for the confirmation of your identity. So either you can go for the text message or you can go for the voice call. Right. So now, right, if I once I provide the number, my mobile number, so then to my mobile, right, I will get a code. So then we have to type that code, whatever the code you received. So that's it. Account will be created. Right. It's a simple process. One is right. First step will be your email verification, and the second step, right, password setup, and the third contact information, and the fourth, right, your payment info, then the fifth confirmation of your identity. With the 5 steps, right, your account will be created. So once the account got created, the last section will be the plan. So right, what you want to do with the cloud, right, you want to set up a business, you want to run your business, or you want to develop some applications, or whatever the requirement. That's why, right, so they are providing some plans for us based on the requirements. Suppose, right, so this is the free account, so that right, you want to explore the cloud services, right, developer support or business you want to set up. These are the charge things, right? You can leave these two options. You can go with the go and select basic support free, right? So then complete your sign up. So once you are done with the sign up, right, so then it will be routed to the login section like this. Your right AWS account will be redirected to your login section, right? So then whatever the username, like the email address we used, we have to use that email to connect our AWS account. Right. So right now, right, so I'm using this email, Shankarbhai23. So right, as a root user, here you can see there are two options are available. One is a root like an admin, and the second one is IAM user, like a normal user, like an employee. Right. We'll see what this IAM user and how to use that IAM user in our AWS classes. So right now, right, the focus is our DevOps tools. Once the DevOps tools are covered, then we'll go with our AWS classes. So right now, right, so go with the root user as an admin and provide the email address, then go for the next. Right. So what are the password, right? While creating the account, what are the password you provided? So enter the password here. Right. So now based on our payment, right? So the cards whatever we used to create the account. So the AWS, right? Usually it will take hours to activate your account. Within an hour, not hours also, within an hour, the account will be activated. Sometimes like the card, suppose I'm using some Canara Bank as an example, like a kind of Gramin Vikas banks like that. These payment methods, right, will not be there with them. So now they need some time to authenticate, to verify and authenticate your payments. So for such kind of accounts will take so 24 hours to 48 hours. So like so if your account is not activated within hour or hours, so don't be worried. Wait for some time. Maybe you will get a message. It will take like minimum 48 hours to activate your account. If you are seeing such kind of message means your account verification is under progress. Wait for 1 day or sometime then your account will be activated. Usually right within an hour or 2 hours our account will be activated. If not, wait for a day. So not to worry, wait for a day, then check in the next day. Right. So that is what the process for them to activate the AWS accounts. So once we logged in to the account, right? Once you logged into our AWS account, so there are right, you can see you can observe here one option called services towards the left side, and the right side, right, you can see the Shankar means my account name. What are the account name I have provided while creating the account? So the name you can see here, right? So then right, the account name, then you can see the site is something called Ohio, the sites, right? What exactly it is? What is this Ohio? Right. So now we are using right the AWS cloud. Now AWS right is going to have a data centers for the infrastructure. Like here, they have placed the data centers in different locations like this. Right. Assume right this is the data center placed in US, and this is something like UK, India, Singapore, like that, right? As an example. So now, right, so I want to set up my business. My customers are right, majority of the customers from India, right? So now my application, I want to launch my application in the cloud, means I want to run the application in the cloud. My customers, right, majority of the customers from the India. So now, right, so now here I have the options are available like the data centers. Data centers means that the infrastructure will be placed in the data centers. From that, we can take whatever you want. Right. So now here, suppose I want to have a server. I can have a server in the US, or I can have in Singapore, or I can have UK, or I can have in India. Right. Suppose right, I created a server in US. So here my application is deployed. Right. So basically, right, the requests like my customers are from India. Right. So now the request will go from India. Like this means the travel time. You can observe right the request travel time. It will be right somewhat huge, not the huge, right? The latency you can observe. So if my server is in US or in India, right? Now the latency you can observe, right? So here you can see it will be the faster because the travel time will be less between the India server and the US server. Right? So that's why, right? So they are providing the data centers in different locations so that when you want to set up your business or when you want to utilize the services, you can take your nearest data centers, right? So that right, you can have that faster response. You can get the faster response like that, right? So that's where right you can see here the regions details here, If I say right here, right, US East, Ohio, Northern Virginia, West, like that, right, you can see the different regions. So now we are practicing, right? We are practicing our DevOps. So we are not setting up any business there. So I don't need any kind of right high availability, scalability, or performance infrastructure like that. Just I need a missions so that I want to practice my DevOps. Right. So now I don't need to bother about the latency also. Because right, I don't need because I'm not running any kind of business there. So which means so now right now we can have our servers in any region, but the region concept is right. So to maintain your latencies, right, your response thing on the application side. So now what my suggestion here, right? You can choose any region to create your servers, but don't switch randomly like that. So suppose so today I have used the US East and tomorrow right I will go to Mumbai. Then I will create a server. You can do that. There is no restriction for that. So that right you have to use only one region. But the thing right, so if you are creating in different regions your the servers, usually right as a human we are going to forget the things. Suppose right, so today I use this Ohio, then I create a server. Then I forgot it that I create a server in Ohio. Tomorrow I'm using some other like Mumbai, right? So then in the back end, the Ohio server is running, right? We are using the free account. The free account period will be 365 days or total 750 hours we can use it. Now unnecessarily the hours are going to be consumed, right? So in the back end the server is running, right? The hours are going to be consumed, right? So to avoid this kind of things, stick to one region until we are familiar with this account, the services and everything, then you can play with them. So until right you are familiar with these things, stick to one region, like choose any region like Ohio, whatever you want, stick to that, then start practicing in the same. So then later on right you can play with these things. So by default right, so Ohio I am using here. Ohio is the one of the service like the region where right most of the services will be available. So sometimes, right? So as an example, so there is a service called A is available in Ohio, but you will not find the same service A in the right. So some other like Osaka region based, right? Few of the services will not be available. So in Ohio, right, you will get most. Right. So now I'm using the Ohio. Again, up to you guys, like which region you want to take. Now, right, this is the region concept, and then the cloud, right? Any cloud, the concept remain the same. You will be seeing the regions, and you are going to see the services. There are different services are available in the cloud. So that right, you can use the service and you can go for your requirements. Like I want to develop some kind of application, you can use the platforms, right? Or I want to run my applications, you can use the infrastructure, right? I want to write some algorithms, you can use the machine learnings or artificial intelligence services. Like the cloud offering different services, like their platform as a service, software as a service, right? Your infrastructure as a service. Now you can check all the services, right? You click on the services, there you can see, right, these are all the services from the cloud side, right? You want to run some analysis, right? You can go to the analysis thing. So there you can see these are the analysis related services, right? So like you can write blockchains, compute, containers, like see there are different services are available. So now for us as a DevOps engineer, right, we are going to work with the infrastructure. We need infrastructure related services. The first thing, right? The first thing for us, servers. We are going to play with the servers. Now, right, you need the servers, missions. Right. So now in my cloud, I want to create a server. So for that, we have a service called EC2. If I go to the compute, right, there you can see the service called EC2. Or in the search, right, in the search, you can straightforward search for EC2. Elastic Cloud Compute. EC2 means Elastic Cloud Compute. So now the EC2 is the one service. From that service, we can create the missions, the servers, right? So now go to the EC2, click on the EC2. So right, so there you will get the dashboard of creating the servers like this, right? You can see the option like number of servers running, IPs, like something like that. Right now, don't focus on all these options. We'll see later. So right now, what is the requirement? We need a mission to practice. I need a mission. That's it. So now to create a mission, again, we can do it in multiple ways. One is you can click on the instances, You can see an option called instances running. You can go to this option, or in the left pane, you can see instances. Either you can select this guy or this guy. Anything is fine to create a mission, right? So I'm clicking on the instances. Then you can see this is something like it will try to show you what are the running servers right now. What are the servers are running? The list it will try to display here. Along with the running servers, in the right side you can see launch instances, right? So now I want to create a server. So now what I will do? I will go for launch instance. So click on the launch instance, right? So now you can see the options to create the server. Like these are the options. Right, basically, when I want to create a server, like when I want to work with a machine like a laptop or desktop, we look for some configuration like home, the CPU, the RAM, the hard disk, the credentials, to connect to a laptop, the credentials like that. The same concept here also. And the OS, which OS you want. You want to work with the Linux or you want to work with the Windows. The same here also. So here, you can see here the name of the mission, right? So what are the server you are going to create it? To identify the server, we need a name. So that name we can provide here. Like suppose I'm going to give Linux mission. So then you can see the next section OS. Whatever the machine you are creating it for the machine, which OS you want? You want the Mac, you want the Windows, or you want the Linux flavors, right? Because Amazon itself is providing Amazon Linux OS. Like in the backend, they will use Red Hat only. Like Mac, Ubuntu, right? This is the Ubuntu flavor. Windows, right? You can see Red Hat, SUSE, Debian, like that. We have the different OS flavors are available, right? So now you can choose any of the OS. So by default, Amazon Linux is selected. We can go with that, practice purpose, Amazon Linux is fine for us. Later on, we'll work with the Ubuntu machines, and I will show Windows machines also, how to create the Windows machines from the cloud. Later on we'll see. So right now, Amazon Linux in the backend, it is a Red Hat machine. I will show you. So in the backend, it is easy. It is using the Red Hat or not. We'll see in the later on. Now here, if you see here in the Amazon Linux, we have the different again versions. Like see, Amazon Linux 2 kernel version is 5.1. It is 4.14. Likewise, you can see different versions. So you can see here the AMI is nothing but your OS. Amazon Mission Image, the OS. You can see free tier eligible because we are using a free account, right? So now you can use these images under your free account. Suppose you are taking this guy. Now they are going to charge for this image utilization. So likewise, whatever the services we are going to take, try to use the free tier eligible services. So that so you will be under free account. Otherwise, they are going to start charging it. But don't be worried, even though they are charged, we don't require to pay anything. I will let you know what needs to be done. So right now, whatever the default is there, suppose this is the default. Let me go with the default. It is a free tier one. So then scroll down here, you can see the type, the system configuration, the RAM, the CPUs, like that. If I click on this drop down, so you will see different types of servers, right? There are different types of servers. But here, for our free account, you can see free tier eligible. What is that? T2 micro with the configuration 1 CPU, 1 GB of RAM, you are going to get it. That is enough for us for the practice, So this is enough for us. So so this free tier. So here you don't need to select anything on the instance type. So by default, it is selected with the free tier eligible. So so this section you can go with the default. You don't need to touch this section. Then scroll down. Key pair. So once your system is ready, you need to connect the system. To connect the server, right, you need your credentials. Now the credentials nothing but your key pair. So here, right, you can see if already you are having a key pair, you can use it. So first time you are creating a server, right, so by default you are not going to have any key pair upfront. Now what we can do, right, we can go for creating a new key pair, right? So right, this is my old account, that's where you can see here one key is available. But when you are creating a new account, right, so you are not going to have any new key pair, you have to create a one. So now what we can do, right, so here you can see in the right side, create new key pair, right? So right, so select this guy, so click on create a new key pair. So then, right, you can enter the key pair name. So here, right, so Shankar Devops something. Right, so then you can select the private key file format and the key pair type, whatever, right, is the defaults are there. Let's go with the default like RSA and PM. And this is my file name, the key name. Then you can click on the create key pair. Right. Now see, right, in my downloads, now I can observe one file got downloaded. That you can see Shankar DevOps, whatever the file name I have given, right, with the file name, the extension is .pem. That is nothing but your private key file, right? So that file got downloaded. So right, so with this file, whenever I want to connect to the server, I can connect by using this private key, right? So we have to keep it safely. You should not lose. If you lose the key, right, you are not able to connect the server. Again, you have to create a new server with the new key. So that's why, right, you have to keep this private key in a safer place. So now once after, right, I create the key, you can see now Shankar DevOps key selected. Then go down. These are all the options, we can leave it default. The security groups will discuss the later. So then the storage, hard disk, right? So by default, right, you will get 30 GB of hard disk free from the cloud side. So right, by default, right, it is going to take 8 GB. 8 GB is fine for me, right? So that's good. You can go and leave it, right? So now while creating the account, while creating the server, the new server, so what are the things we need to take care? The one is the image, which image you want to take, and the second one, right, is your type, and the third one your key, and the fourth one your storage. But right now, right, you can go with all defaults, like just you need to give the name, then you can go with the default on the AMI side, the OS side, and the type also you can go with the default, the free tier one, and this is the one you have to enter, the private key. You have to select your private key. This is the way you need to touch. Then you can go with the defaults, the other sections. Then finally, right, you can go for the launching the server. So click on the launch instance. Now see, it is trying to launch a new mission for us. So then if I scroll down, you can see a button called view all instances. So click on the view all instances. Right now, these are the missions right now in my account. So if I go here, you will see a mission called Linux. Now see, the instant state is showing as running, right? So now a new mission got created in my AWS cloud account, right? It's very easy. It's very easy. On fly, we can create the servers, right? So now, right now, right? So we are created a Linux mission in our AWS account. Suppose, right? This is my AWS, and here, right, I created a mission here. It is the Linux mission, and to connect this Linux mission, right, I created a key called Shankar DevOps. Correct? This is the key I created. You can observe here. So this is the machine. If you go towards the right, you have the different columns. So if I go, you can see one of the column name is key name, right? If you want to connect to the server, which key you have to use? Shankar DevOps key you have to use. See, the other servers are having the different key, but this machine is having the different key, like Shankar DevOps key. Now, if I want to connect this guy, I need to use the Shankar DevOps key. Okay, that's what right now. So right, so now here, this is my workstation, like my laptop. Right, from the laptop only, right? We connected to the AWS, right? The AWS account, and we create an account, then we create a server from the laptop. Now, right, so in my laptop, I got the key as well. Whatever the key I created, that key is downloaded into my laptop. My laptop is running with Windows, and this is a Linux, right? This is the current situation. Now, what I want here, right? After I created a server, now I want to practice my Linux stuff, right? My Linux commands. I will start with the Linux commands. Now, if you want to practice your Linux commands, then what you need to do? You have to connect to this Linux machine. We have to connect to that machine. Then only you can practice it. Right. So, right, how I am going to connect that particular Linux machine from my laptop. Right. So, there we don't have the straightforward mechanisms to connect. We are going to use some third party tools to connect my Linux machine which is running on the cloud. One is Putty. One of the tool is, right, the popular one. So you will see this tool in your real time also, right? The Putty is the one which we are going to use to connect our remote servers. Right. So now I'm going to use the Putty tool to connect to this Linux machine from my laptop. Right. So now, right, so you to connect any machine you need the authentications. So already the key is available, right? In my local, in my laptop, the key is available for that machine. So now what I need to do, I need to use this key and connect to the server. That's it. But here, right, one thing. So Putty not able to understand the private key if they are in the format of .pem, right? If you see here, right, the extension, the type is showing as pem, but Putty cannot understand the pem files, the private key pem files. Now, right, which format they can accept? The Putty accepts the private key in ppk format, right? So now Putty can use the private key in ppk format and they can connect to a server. But right now my private key is not in the ppk, it is in the pem format, right? So now what we need to do, we have to convert it. We have to convert the private key from pem to ppk. So for that we are going to use one more tool called puttygen. Now what the puttygen will do, it will take your .pem file as input and it will convert into .ppk. That's it. Now this guy job is convert the PEM file into the ppk. So now once you got the ppk, then your Putty can take the ppk and it can connect to your server. So now what we record here, we need two tools. One is the puttygen for the conversion and the second one is the Putty to connect. Right. So how can I get these tools? Right. So go to your browser and right, the website name is putty.org. The website name is, right, putty.org. So once you entered the putty.org, there you can see download Putty is the one of the section. Now click on the download Putty. right? You will see different sections again, like package files, alternative binary files. Right? Package files are nothing but right, your MSI files, so that you can install them on your laptop. You can install this putty and puttygen. You don't want to install straightforward, you want to use, then you can go for the alternative binary files, so that right, it will not be installed, but straightforward you can use them. Like you can see that putty.exe is the one of the tool which I am looking, and there are the other tools are like PSCP. There are all the putty tools. Now what we need putty and puttygen. Now this is the putty, and if you go down, you can see the puttygen.exe also. Right. So now based on your laptop architecture like 64-bit, x86 or 64-bit ARM or 32-bit, you can choose the corresponding links. Right. So you can check your architecture of the laptop, right? You can go to your this PC, then go to your properties, right? So you will see your architecture, right? Here's the system type, 64-bit operating system. Next 64 is my base processor. Right. So then what I can do, right? I can use, right, 64-bit x86. Now go to the putty and click on the putty.exe. Now putty.exe, right, downloaded into my laptop, and then the same way puttygen also I will be download. Right. So if I go to my right downloads location of the laptop, there I can see putty and puttygen. So first this file I need to convert into PPK. For that I am going to use puttygen. So click on the puttygen, right? So it is opened at a kind of dashboard for us, a pop-up here. You can see options are there like generate and the load. So generate in the sense you can generate the keys, a new key, a private key. So right now, right, I don't need a private key to be generated because already the private key is available here in the PM format. Now what I can do, I can go for the load, so that I will load that PM file and I will convert it to PPK. So click on the load. So then go to the downloads. By default, it will look for PPK files. That is the default behavior. But right now the file is present in the PIM. That's why, right, you don't see that file here. Now choose all files. Go for all files. So there now you'll find out your PIM file. Select open. So once you successfully, right, imported, means opened that private key. Now what we can do, right, we can save the private key. We have two options. One is the public key save and the second one is the private key save. Our file is the private key, not the public. Go for the private key save private key. Yes. So then now you can save your private key, right? So now in which format the private key is going to be saved? Here you can see PPK format. So likewise the conversion, simply load the private key, then save as a PPK. That's it. So right, so now what I will do, I will give the same name. What are the right now I have given for my private key PEM, I am going to use the same name, so that right I am not going to be confused. So I will remove the extension. That's it. So then I am going to have the same file name with the PEM format and as well as PPK format. Save it. That's it. Now close it. Now see, you got one more file with the same name, but the extension is PPK. Right? You can see that the type is the PEM and the type is PPK. So now your putty, right? Your putty can understand the PPK. Now I will use the putty and by using the PPK file, and I will connect to the Linux machine. Right. So now let's go to your downloads and open the putty here. Right. So then here, right, you can see the host name or the IP address. So now go to your AWS account and whatever the machine that you want to connect, right, here there are plenty of machines are there. Which machine you want to connect, select that machine. Right now, right, you can see here the Linux machine is selected, right? So then in the right, in the down, you can see there are different tabs are available like details, security, networking, all the things. So right now, right, again we are not looking at the AWS options. We need the server to practice our DevOps tools. So right now, right, so don't be focused on these options. We'll discuss later in our AWS classes. So you can go to the details. There you can see the instance IP address, or if you go down, right, you will see the DNS name. Either you can take the DNS name of the server, or you can take the IP address. So let me take the IP address, copy, then go to your putty and enter. Right. So right, so now here you are going to tell your putty, this is the machine I want to connect. Now how we are going to connect the machine? By using that private key, right, the authentication. So for that, right, go to the SSH. Here I can see here you have an option called SSH. Under the SSH, you will see one more option, the sub option called authentication. Right. So now expand this authentication. Now there you can see credentials. Right. So now SSH. Right. So right now, right, you can see go for the SSH, expand. Then you can see authentication like this, expand. Then you can see credentials, select. Now that the different options are available, now we will go for the private key for authentication. This is the one. Now click on the browse. So whatever the private key, right, with the PPK format is available, select, open. That's it. Now go and click on open. So right, it is going for the server connectivity. So the confirmation, accept. Click on accept. Now see, login as. Right, usually, right, when you are connecting your laptop, right, you have to provide your username and password. Now, like your private key is like a password. Now it's asking the username, which user you want to use. Right. So now here I am giving a user called EC2-user. Enter. That's it. Now see, I connected to the Linux machine. Now I can practice whatever I want. Right. So now how come this EC2-user? Right. How I'm going to know which user I need to enter? Right. So not to worry, right? So now if you are not sure about the user, whatever the machine you want to connect, right, select. Then you can see there is a button called connect. Now click on the connect. So then you can see different tabs here. Out of that, the third one, SSH client, is one of the tab. Click on here. So there, if you go down, right, they will show you some example here. Right. So now this is the username. Right. If you are not sure about the user, right, you can get the username from here. The easiest way. So click on connect. Under SSH client, you can see an example. In the example, you can find the username. Right. That is the default user from the AWS side. EC2 user is the default user for your image. What are the image you have chosen? For that image, the default user is EC2 user. So that's where this user is provided here. Right. So now you can do whatever you want. You can practice your Linux stuff. Right. So like that, you can create number of missions. Right. Suppose, right, I need one more mission. Then what I will do? Simply I will click on the launch instance. Right. So here I am going to give some name. Right. So the options, right, I will go with the defaults like the OS, instance type, everything I will go with the default. Just I need to select the key. You can create the missions, the number of missions with the same key. So I'm going to create one more mission with the same key, Shankar Devops key. Select, that's it. I don't need to touch anything here. Click on launch. That's it, right? One more mission is going to be created now. View all instances. Let's see. Test. So wait for the state is changed to running. Then you can connect and use that machine also. Right here. Let's wait for some time. See here. The test still you can see it pending. Right now, see, it is running. Now once the state move to running, then what I can write, I can go to my putty and click on the right click. then go for new session, open a new session, the putty. So then simply I can take the public IP of the new server, then go to SSH, authentication, credentials, browse, same key, open, open, accept, EC2 hyphen user. That's it. Now see. So now there are two Linux machines are running. So like right, on fly, right? Even right, it not taken 1 minute also, less than a minute, we created a mission. Advantage of using the clouds or containers. On fly, we can create the servers. Right. So now suppose the job is done. Right. So I don't need the mission now. Now what I can do once your job is done, so simply can go to your account. So what are the server that you created? Select the server. Suppose this is the one test. Then here you can see there is a button or drop down called instant state. Now click on. You can see options are there. Stop the server, restart the server, terminate the server. Right. This mission I don't need anymore. Job is done. Go and terminate it. Simply click on terminate, terminate. That's it. This mission will be terminated like this. Like that. See here, the other missions also I terminated. Right. So like here, right? So this mission going forward, I'm going to practice, right? My Linux stuff. So for that, right, I need a mission. So what I will do, this mission I'm not going to be terminate, because if I terminate again, tomorrow I have to create a new server. Instead of that, what I can do, instant state and stop it. So that right, the instance will be there in the stopped state. So tomorrow, right, I want to practice it again. Then what I will do, select. So suppose right, you can see here, these are the stopped servers. Select, state, start, so that the version will be started. Likewise, right, what we can do, we can create the servers on this account and start your practice. Once your practice is done, don't leave them like that, because right, in the back end, total 750 hours you are going to get it. So unnecessarily hours are going to be consumed. So once your practice is done, then what you can do, select the servers, server or servers, then state and the stop. Go and stop them. Right. So whenever you want to practice them again, right? Whenever you want to practice them again, then select, right, start, then practice it. Right. So like right. So now here the server can be launched on the cloud, and by using right the tool called Putty, we can connect to the server and you can practice it. So now maybe right the Putty is confusing, the PEM, PPK conversions and all the stuff. Is there any alternative tools are available so that I can easily connect? Yes, alternative tools are also available. This is the standard one, right? From the decades, right? People are using to connect to the remote servers, Putty, because of right, it is going to have a lot of features, lot of options are available. But right, so since we are new to this systems and connect to all the things, maybe it will confuse for you like conversions and all the stuff, right? Until you get some understanding on this process, you can go for the other alternative tools to connect your servers. So likewise, one of the tool is Git Bash. One of the tool is right, Git Bash. Now what we can do, like how the putty we downloaded, in the same way, you can go for right Git Bash download. You can go for Git Bash download. Now the website is git-sm.com. Right. So go to the downloads. Right. So then here you can see Mac, Windows, Linux, whatever right, whatever workstation the OS is based on the right select. So my laptop is Windows, then I can go with the Windows. Here you can see the latest version of right the Git Bash is 2.39.1 for your Windows. So click on the download, so that right the Git Bash will be downloaded
Shankar,
into.
can we
Yes, please.
use uh, can we use Git instead of Putty?
That's all right. That's what I'm showing, Git Bash.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Right. So now here, right, you can see here the git bash, the versions, like suppose 64, right? Our mission architecture is 64. So I will go for the 64. Then it is going to be downloaded. It is a exe file. So just whatever you need to do, once after it got downloaded, simply double click on the exe file so that the instructions for the installation, next, it will be installed on your machine, the git bash. Right. So then you can go to your laptop menu, then you can go for your git bash search. I will search for my git bash. See here, after I install the git bash, I can see right in my laptop menu like the git bash tool. Right. So now what we need to do, download it, then install it. So here, right, you can see in my downloads. So I can see the git bash exe file, double click. So then it will go for the installation process. Simply click on next. Then your git will be installed on your machine. Right, like this. So since already I am having the git bash, so I am not going for the yes, so I am clicking no. Once the git bash is installed, then open it. Right, so here git bash. So then what we need to do here before connecting to the server, where is the private key is located? In your laptop, right, or the desktop, where the private key is located? It is under downloads folder. By default, right, anything you download, it will go to the downloads folder, right? We know that part. So now under the downloads, I can see my PEM file as well as my PPK file. Both are present in my downloads only. So now before connecting to the machine, our AWS cloud machine, make sure you are switched to the location where the private key is located. Now the git bash not requires any PPK file. It don't need. It needs the PEM file. The git bash, right? It needs that. So that, right, you don't need to convert it. Straightforward, you can use the file, the PEM file. So now, right, so it is under downloads. Then what I need to do, simply I have to switch. So how we are going to switch? There is a command called cd. So tomorrow, right, we'll see the commands. So right now, try to understand. If you want to switch, the command is cd. Now to which directory you want to switch? I want to switch to my downloads. Enter. Now see, you can see downloads is there, means you already into that folder, into that downloads folder. So once after you switched, then what you can write? Simply can go to your AWS dashboard, select your machine, then click on the connect, right? So then go to SSH client, then you can see the example thing. Whatever the path is there, right? Blindly, right now, blindly copy the path. Copy. So then here, right? Paste it. Enter. Confirmation. Yes, that's it. Right? You are connected to the machine. So no conversion of PEM to PPK, right? So putty gens putty, simply open the git bash, switch to the location where the private key is located. By default is downloads. So how we are going to switch? By using the cd command. After you switch, then go to your account, whatever the mission, right? Whatever the mission you want to connect, select the mission and click on the connect and go to SSH client and copy this path and paste it and enter, so that you are going to connect to the mission. Easiest way when you compare with the putty, right? So like that, we have multiple tools are available, right, to connect our remote servers. Like we have one more tool called same concept like Mobi Extern. This is also something like our Git. So this is for us to connect our remote servers. Mobi Extern. Anyway, right, they're all not required. One or two is enough. So one is putty is required because, right, you will see the putty in your real time. This Git is enough for us. Right. So anyway, right, all the instructions, right, to create the server, connect to the machines. So I have created the document. So you can follow this document to create a server and to connect to the machines as well. Right. You can see here connecting to the account, then go to the instances, right? So click on the running, then launch instance, right? Selecting the AMI. This is the old way, like the old way. This is like selecting the AMI, and right. So free tier T2 micro is the free tier. So then go for the launch, right? Finally, once you launch the server, it will ask the key. So right, either you can create a new key or you can select your existing keys. So then go for the key download. If you are creating a new key, right, create the key, then download the key. So then your key will be downloaded into local. So then right, you can see your system is running. Now to connect, right, to connect your machine using the git bash, right, the one is right. So this is the website where you can go and download the git bash. So once you download the git bash, right, so then right, go to the downloads, and this is the right key we are going to use. Go to the downloads and take the path, right. So go to the connect and take the path and paste it here. Yes, and your system will be connected. Right, like that, this is the gateway. Then if you want to use the putty, right, so here this is the link where all the steps are explained with the screenshots. So that's why, right, I'm not prepared again the putty process. You can simply go to this link and you can follow the steps. Right, so here, right, you can see how to connect easy to using the putty. Right, so prerequisites, like here I can go for ppk file generation, putty generate, download the putty gen. So you can go, right, this is the link. You can go and go to the putty. If I open this link, right, it will straight for go to the putty.org site. Then right, download, then you can go for the load. So then change all files, then open your pem file. Then right, once it is opened, then save, right, save the private key, right, by default is RSA. Then save the file name, yes, and save your file name so that it will be converted as a ppk, right. So once it connect, then go to the putty. And right, what are the things you need to take care, like here explained it here. So host name. So then right, you can see here authentication, then your private key selection, then connect. Yes, everything is explained with the screenshots, right. So likewise, right, so you can create the servers and you can connect to the servers using the different tools. Then we can right practice them. Once the job is done, right, so then you can simply go to your AWS dashboard, select, then state, then stop. Right, so this is the process of creating an account, and once you got the account, creating a server and connecting the servers by using different tools. Any doubts on this process? So try to create an account today itself. Right, so I'm going to share these two documents to the organization, that they are going to share these two documents to you guys. And right, try to create an account, try to create the server also. Still, right, server creation, right, maybe if you are confusing, tomorrow also we can discuss, but try to create an account. Don't be delayed it or neglect, because right, tomorrow I am going to start the Linux commands. Right, we'll start with our Linux commands. So right, you by that time you need account, so that right, you can create the servers and you can start practicing it. Right, so any questions? Are we good?
Yes, it looks good. Okay.
Yeah, perfect, Surendra. So right, so anything, any kind of right, maybe I know that people are completely from different backgrounds, right? Don't be hesitate to ask any questions. It can be any, it can be silly, right? Whatever the question is, right? In your mind, try to clarify it, right? So
So is it a free account?
yes, 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 it is a free account. That's what,
Okay.
right? So that's where you can see here. So while creating the account, at the last step, you can see the plan, right? It's a free one.
Mhm.
We are going to select, so that right, it's a free account. Fine then. So if no questions, we are good, right? So yeah. So see you tomorrow, and we'll start our Linux.
Hello?
Yes, yes, yes.
We have downloaded Git Dash with a window version. Why? Because used files in laptop.
So because right, my laptop is the Windows laptop, right? So this Git bash you are going to use from your working station, means your desktop or laptop. My laptop is running with the Windows. That's where I download the supported version of the Git bash. If my laptop is Mac, then I have to download the Mac supported Git bash. Because right, we are connecting from your laptop to the AWS. Now whatever the Git bash you are using, that is from your laptop only. Now you have to download and install the Git bash according to your laptop OS. It's a Linux, straightforward you can use it. If it's a Windows, then you have to download and install the Windows one. If it's a Mac, you have to download and install the Mac one, like that.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Fine then.
Shankar, Shankar, these
Yes, yes,
documents will be shared to us, right? At
yes,
least we'll just try
yes.
to set up in our local. That way, at least, yeah, we'll get
Exactly,
to know if we are
exactly.
able to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Also, like
Sure.
your practice also should be done on the day itself only. So it's not like to
Mm.
be
Yeah,
postponed or delayed, right? Whatever the
sure.
topics you are going to cover on the same day, you have to practice. That's why, right? I'm going to share the
Okay.
documents upfront only. So I'm going to share
Okay.
our organization, and they're going to
Mhm.
send it to your emails, right? So that you can use those documents and you can practice it. Okay.
Sure.
After this class now, so I'm going to share those documents. So they will share
Sure.
it to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, right, I will ask them to create a kind of maybe Google Classroom links or something, so that right when you are practicing these tools now, if you are stuck anywhere, you can share the screenshots or you can post your queries on the classroom link, whatever they are going to share, so that right. So I will be there for you guys to respond, so that right you don't need to wait for the next day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, to clarify the doubts like that. So that is
Sure.
also our planning, right? So yeah, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, they will let us know what the group they are going to provide to us.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, see you tomorrow. So thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Shankar.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.